Okay. What I'm gonna do is talk about a few things right quick about the unseen, because this will be some heavy stuff right here. Okay, when it comes to the journey that this physical form of myself, of Matt Childs, with a Christian name and a surname, which we ain't gonna get into that. Okay? But one thing I can tell you this from the world, okay? This is through my experience, all right, through AA, which is 12 steps, is you have to do an inventory. Okay, and you're not really taught that in anything at all. All right, you got to learn how to clean house on the inside of you. And truthfully, it's emptying out all that garbage. And that's how, like I tell people, I'm like, those of y'all that's not in trouble, you're in so much trouble because you've got 100,000 hours of TV in there. You got to get that shit out. And listen, that's a hierarchy. Well, actually, those are the lowerarchy of the unseen from another world, which get into you, which is black fucking magic. And see, there's a hierarchy of fucking wizards and warlocks that literally like create these scripts, and producers and directors are wizards and shit, and like seers and like me shit I don't even fucking can imagine the mortal man. But what's telling you this can. Okay? And their scripts are they're sorcery. And they're meant to penetrate into the subconscious and to create emotions, feelings, pride, and all shit, and it's ingrained into the brain, and the people can't see it, and they can't see it, and the ones that write these is they get their power from a hierarchy of fucking evil demons. Okay, now with that little bit being said, this all has to do with the unseen. When it comes to my journey, okay, you're born with a spirit, whether you like it or not, a Holy Spirit and a soul. Okay? There is beings on the other side, and there's a hierarchy, just like there is in the fucking black magic. God has a hierarchy, and there's angels, as we would know them, but they have names, and I ain't got time to get into them. But this is where it gets to where you can start to make an understanding of like experience. They don't want any school children to have any experience, real experience with any fucking thing whatsoever, so it never unlock. They'll just stay in the one brain set mindset. You know, but I had been through some serious shit. Like with training, with weight training. I was trained, listen, by this dude, like for years all I heard was, up! You know what I mean? No pencil necks, no weak bodies. Okay? You know, and truthfully, I mean, I played sports, but that kind of mentality wasn't in the fucking school system. Okay, and then here comes a guy that was Muay Thai. Badass dude that didn't believe in nothing except for training. That was it. Fuck you and your belts and all that. So, I mean, it was like, and I mean, like back then before UFC and shit really began. And so, and this was after school, shit you're not going to learn in school, but on purpose. You understand? But my early life was in church. And it was. And we were, back then, we learned. We just didn't memorize shit and have fun. You know, but do you see what I'm showing you is they have no idea what's in them. And even if I try to tell them, it's the same with everybody. And they have no idea that what's in them was preparing me for the journey that I could not foresee at the time. Because the tools that I did not get in the beginnings that should have fucking been there. The entity that's against all this tricked them. And slowly built this and built the tools within me. And then fucking every relapse, it's there. Only to test me. To see if I'm going to stick with it. But it's already foreseen. So the hierarchy has to step back and look. Somebody that ain't had their brain knocked around ain't going to be chosen. And it's not just, I'm not speaking like just of me, but listen, the same way people have opened themselves up to black magic sorcery through television, pills, and chemical foods and liquids is the same way I've opened myself up to that up there in God. And they'll look at you and say, you're crazy. And I'm blowing your fucking mind off because you have the same shit. You've got to go back through. And a black man showed me how to pull everything out. And he didn't fucking want shit either. Do you understand? These are real fucking messengers. They have no idea the tools that they help, because Mike helped me. He's the one that pulled it all out and put it together. And then my family is there, but everyone's equal within this. But there's huge roles that has to be played. And see, those relapses only put me through that industry to experience more, so where I can rip it in half. Okay? Because, without certain experiences there, this could not happen, is what I'm saying. See, because, I found out because I ain't no dummy, but I was. But you find out that the brain has to be exercised. The same as the anatomy. Or it becomes stupid and becomes sickly. Mike taught me in the beginning, he said, listen, if you can't read a page, because withdrawals are torture, especially the ones that we go through. I was horrible. He said, if you can't do that, read a paragraph, if not a sentence. And little by little, he's there coaching me. That's what I'm saying. It's like and then it was learning how to apply that same discipline Steve taught me and Larry from the Muay Thai and the weight training. I can still hear Steve. That's what I'm saying. People they don't care. Fuck you, man. I got more time than you. This is beyond you and your Ahrimanic malice nature. Look, even though it was just me doing this and a young guy, Jake, who if it wasn't for him, and he was a messenger too. He recognized game. But all that right there was a product of combining everything. Of combining a hierarchy of messengers that built that shit long before it even fucking happened. And then, not only that, sent it to these huge companies. Listen, we've sent packages, I've done videos to the fucking White House, CNN, Fox, all of them. Huge ones when all this shit hit with these magazines and it blew up. Well, it backfired in their face. Because the editor was like, what the fuck, man? This shit's got like 10 million provisions overnight. And that's like just visuals, I guess. I was like, is that good? For them. Because in the beginning, it was like, all I wanted to do was just lift up fucking alcoholics and shit. And it blew up and then they killed it. Because it has to do with cannabis and shit. Oh yeah, killed it. Just like nothing else. And that's the whole point is when like your family and friends are like, yeah, the company's fucking, yeah. It's like, that should tell you something. They knew then what was in me. Because the companies are all fucking ran by these Saturn. So, after the first year, I think this was 15 months into it, so we sent that package in. And it wasn't about me. It was about what built that shit in a year. And it was the AA rooms, and it was a fucking army. That's what I'm saying. And people don't realize them broken spirits in them rooms built that shit right there. People don't understand hearing shit. You know, so when I hope some of that made some kind of sense. Because the struggle, they say it in recovery, the struggle's real, man. And it is, but I've heard this shit over and over. You have to turn every fucking situation into something positive. It does not matter how negative it is. Trust me, I have struggled with that shit. And it takes a lot of fucking practice. Because when we expand our systems of the anatomy, especially the nervous system, it does cut time. And it's by design. The anger's designed in you. You know, because when we do actually do something that I'm trying to tell you about that's hard to imagine, people, that evilness around that's in them, that's uploaded into them, listen to me, you'll fucking be like a battery. I mean, like a magnet. People, like, they'll see it in you and reflect, and like, without you even saying nothing. It's real shit. But anyways, it brings me to this. You know, because on December the 17th of 2014, that's when my sobriety date kicked in. And that's the beginning of Saturnalia in ancient times. And we ain't got time to go into 1217 being the 99th prime, then being the 46th prime, and being 2 and 23 the only divisors, 2, 2, 3 into 46. We ain't got time for all that. But what we do have time for is to see, like, you know, what do I keep pushing this right here for? Well, it's because this has to do with, there's a current, okay? There's a current and an impulse that people can't see, and it's above your head. And I can get away with saying this because these individuals don't fucking care about a few of us, as long as they control this kind of shit. Because anybody with a brain, that not an Ahrimanic brain, that intellectual, materialistic brain, they don't have it to understand any of this. Because see, their current impulse from day one has been this technology. And the babies now, it's just, you just can't step back and look. And look at what they're just, the baby's born, there's TV in there and its eyes, that's what I'm saying. That's not real. The TV represents a cube, okay? It represents Saturn. And see, Saturn devours his own children. And literally, look at what it's done. But first you've got to find out, like, you have to really be open-minded by this point on this video and to where we are on what we're talking about. And you really fucking have to be woken up. If not, you're probably on the floor by now. But everything that you see is Saturn. And see, with what's going on with me, let me real quick let them know. It was 38 years, 10 days, or 38 years, 11 days from my birth until I sobered up. And my birth is 12/7, and my sobriety date is that. Well, 17 is the 7th prime. Yeah, it's crazy. But this right here is even stronger. That's even stronger to them. Those numbers and those numbers hit on 12/17 in 2014. Okay, the same way that nature is on a circuit and it's really positive. Well, I jumped on a circuit too, an impulse, a current that has to do with this right here. Okay, big boy numbers that I really didn't know a whole lot of. But like I've always been told, you just got to stay in it. Like I just told you, struggle. Because listen, the matrix, this thing that they've woven, it's impossible to get out of. You're not going to get out of it, trust me. Right when somebody goes, I see it, no, whatever, go on, get out of here with your little cupcakes. But there's an impulse and a current, same comes through the TV. Thousands of hours. Q devours his own children. Hey, crazy, don't you? This is bad. You know, and you need to think. I mean, they've done it. It's amazing though what they've done, but not really because. Nah, it's another video. But anyways, you know, I just want to show you with me being so connected to Saturn, seriously, it's beyond real. And to these huge numbers that even in here, look. Let me see if this is it. It's like, and this is Aleister Crowley's book. But this is in the 777 number that I've talked about a lot. Part 2. It's crazy. Hang on. There it is. If you want to pause that and zoom in on that page, hopefully it's clear enough that you can get it. And then that. It's abrahadabra is what I'm connected to, the great magic word, the word of the ion. And see, the last verse of Matthew, Jesus says, I'll be with you until the end of the age. And the age is synonym as world, era, ion, which is 2160 years. Yeah, and you take the 0 out, and that's 6 times 6 times 6 is 216. But then you got to get into some really hardcore numbers like this. And like pentagonal star numbers and shit, like real beyond trig, beyond stuff that anybody imagine, because it has to do with this. And that's what I'm saying. The brain ain't been developed, and it kills me to even talk about this. But this impulse comes from this world now. Everything down here. That should make sense. Okay? The impulse that I get now, listen, it's like right now Jupiter's right there, Sirius the dog star's right there, Orion's right there. It's not hard, but it's like when I tell people, they're like, damn. I'm like, dude, listen, come here. That's where I get my power. I said, the same fucking thing that makes a little boy go, I'm gonna wear a fucking cape. I said, that's the kind of shit that makes me feel like now. Because I was that little boy with a fucking Hulk doll and worshipped all that shit. Not knowing that all that shit comes from that up there. So, if I devour children and souls and all that, what am I going to make you do? Look down your entire existence. But, oh, it's beyond fucked up, man. It's like I said, there's a parallel. And like a good example would be like they say in Nefarious when he says in 2,000 years ago there was huge statues of Moloch or Baal, and they were sacrificing babies. And he says now they just got on scrubs, killing them in the womb, and no difference. And okay, well, We know that Saturn's been doing that shit for at least 2,000 years. So if they've been doing that shit for 2,000 years, how the fuck did this happen? How did this happen if they're creating mindsets and cultures and all that other shit? How did a goy, literally, from that shit right there in less than 10 years, 1 and 0 is back to 1. The God number. Well, yeah, because then 55 will be the other double digit or master number. But anyways, that's why I say they're as fucked up as I am. Because they just did some big rituals with that. That number's huge in every which way but loose. And truthfully, I'm like, I can't talk about how it's so connected to me because they already fucking know. You know, and truthfully, these bloodlines, they ain't going to, I mean, there's people on fire. But listen, I can see this. Let me get into this. This is all Saturn. So, the crown copyright is what the birth certificate is. Crown being Saturn. Yeah, that has to do with Saturn. But look, if we're going to look at this for what it is, and these are these spirits of Saturn, Satan, if you will, that's been fucking trapped for a long time. And God threw them out because of this Harry Potter war in heaven that was real. And it's still real. That hierarchy of angels built this through people around me, and they fucking tell you they're crazy. You're crazy, dude. There ain't nothing. I'm like, what the fuck? It's against all of it. And that's what I'm saying. The nature in them just will not accept that there's something in them because the system won't allow them. Because, see, this would be Saturn. Okay, we'll just say, hypothetically. But this is what I see. I see that song, More Than Just a Man. I come down from the stars. Yeah. Well, no shit. Or star, because Tupac in his verse says, to the star. I look to the star and visualize my debut. He just says star. So, it's very specific. That means it's singular. Okay? And this so fast reproductive system that you have of your Ahrimanic fucking spirit that you're producing right now, that's how I see it. That's how I see them. I mean, fuck, I can go up on top of one of these structures you destroyed and look across, and I can see them. I can see that. I can see it. It's fucking covered. But I saw it a long time ago when I saw that vision of foam filling up a dome structure. And I know y'all will know about this. I did a video, but I had a vision to where I was on the outside looking in a sense. And in the middle, what represented like evil was foam, like you would see in the sea. And it was coming up out of the middle, filling it up. And fuck, and it got full. And so the answer to that vision is that literally there's so much evil here now that it's full. And now that it's full and so fucking controlled beyond recognition that now what they're doing is creating all fucking dummies. Creating all dummies to have fun with them when they shut it down just like they're doing here, pop off shit here and shit here. It is fucking crazy. The same way a little kid likes fucking burning ants is the same damn way they fuck with us. Or humans. Goy, rather. You know, I'm just a messenger. It ain't gonna be nothing new. That's what they do. It's fucking crazy. They love it. They love destruction, but that's what I see. I can see them sit there. I can see what's going into their brain. I can see you through the fucking air doing your little things to do all the shit you do to create what they do. That's what I'm saying. It's fucked up. But this is what they're in. And look, that's like we've said. I want to do a cool video. I'm tired of seeing this shit. Then again, the coolness, I mean, I'm still cool. But like, I can show them this. Because even the 12 grades goes with the 33 grades of Saturnalia. And what's the first 0 through 11 called? The outer court grades. They're just the dummies. They're just going to be there. Hey, fuck yeah, go get some shit for us. Get some drinks and cups and shit. Pay your dues. Yeah, and that would be the whole system. And then only a few that really come out of there are analyzed. And because the goy don't realize how big, I know how big it is. I can see it. I'm telling you. And I know they're like, he don't fucking, they know that I do care. But they know that there's nothing that you can do. They know that I can see that what's been programmed into these people. They're programmed just for the day. That's it. Just for that day. That's it. They can't see what's coming. They can't even see how they slowly, generationally just throw them into shit. And they don't even know it. It's so ingenious, it's not even funny. But then again, it's like, well, I'm on this current impulse. So if I jumped on this current impulse and they allowed this to happen, then, you know, then there's something else that they're seeking too. But, I mean, I don't know how else I can explain it to you that, like, this literally is proof that the unseen is real, because that would explain the firepower in me. I got 4 fire signs. But look, copyright. That's what your birth certificate is. Look, and in Saturn's law, copyright is the right of literary property as recognized and sanctioned by positive law, a right granted by statute to the author or originator of certain literary or artistic productions whereby he is invested for a limited period with the sole and exclusive privilege of multiplying copies of the same and publishing and selling them. An incorporeal right being the exclusive privilege of printing. Copyright is the exclusive right of the owner of an intellectual production to multiply and dispose of copies. Look, anybody can go, but man, that's not what that is. It's like, listen. The Ahrimanic nature would be to respond that way. That after what has just flowed through me, I've just proven it. That this is, listen, okay, and we're nothing more than just copies. By definition, in Saturn's own law, dictionary. And then, because, why? Because Saturn judges. Saturn's going to be the furthest out. So he go up, he's the judge. And then all the other ones are going to govern their orbit. But listen, the average person ain't going to fucking listen to anything. And the reason I got that over there is because that's brought to you by what they did. And they're so good that you can show, listen, I've showed engineers that are in college and physicists too. So, and they do just like everybody. They just go, yeah, that's crazy. I'll see you later. It's like this. It's crazy because this thing right here. Let me tell you something. We're way deeper than you could ever imagine on being controlled. All right, and what I do, like I can't post this on Facebook. So maybe a few people will watch it over here, but you know, you just can't tell your hometown. Look, you come from basically a fucking boarding school, and then it turned into a school board. All towns started with, hey, we're going to volunteer. All right, we're setting it up. We're gonna volunteer and help each other. All right. Well, we're gonna build a department over here. Who wants to be? All right. You're growing up. We're gonna let you get it. Yeah, and then you have shit. Well, we're gonna start taking money out of everybody and build all these things around you. Yep. And then this is where you are. That's what Saturn does slowly, because each generation doesn't even know. They're throwing new shit out there. Saturn's throwing that shit out there, boy. Throwing it out there. You know, but I mean, it's just, this is where it is. You know, and you got to think about this. I got to eat. You need to think about that place as we know it. You need to think about all, it doesn't matter where, this is what I'm talking about, what I see. Okay, anywhere that you see them wearing that with the outfit and the uniform, Saturn. It doesn't matter. Even if they're dumb as shit and went to a school and said, I'm gonna do what I've only ever seen. They represent Saturn. So when that can sink into your skull, to whoever trying to debunk anything, that's everywhere. And the Pope represents the white part, and then you've got the black Jesuit, which is the vest or whatever, the outfit. And then there's a red one, but do you not see? That's Saturn. There's nobody that would be for God that would allow any children to starve, but I mean, this is where you are. Look. Oh, there's that. All right, I love you.